December 26, 1985. A remote cabin in the woods. A successful author fast asleep. Something moves through his house in the darkness. When he wakes up, he can't move, can't scream, as something with coal black eyes stands over his bed. Welcome back to another mind-bending episode of Sketchy Phenomena. Today, we're going to take a look at one of the most detailed and influential alien abduction stories ever documented. We'll explore every bizarre detail of his encounter with the visitors. Grab your tinfoil hats and buckle up, because this story is about to get weird. Before Whitley Strieber became synonymous with alien encounters, he was already making a name for himself as a horror novelist. Born in San Antonio, Texas in 1945, Strieber penned several successful horror books including The Wolfen and The Hunger, both of which became movies. But Strieber's life took a dramatic turn during Christmas 1985 when he was staying at his cabin in upstate New York. What happened that night would transform him from a horror writer into one of the world's most prominent voices on alien contact. His subsequent book, Communion, topped the New York Times bestseller list, and the iconic cover with those almond-shaped black eyes has become one of the most recognizable images in UFO culture. The horrifying events unraveled on December 26, 1985. Strieber is peacefully asleep in his cabin near the town of Hudson Valley, New York. His wife and son are also in the house. According to Strieber, at approximately 11:30 p.m., a strange sound wakes him up. Strieber later described hearing an odd whooshing noise, followed by what sounded like someone moving around his house. At first, he thought it might be intruders, but what came next was way beyond any ordinary home invasion. According to Strieber, small beings with large, black, almond-shaped eyes entered his bedroom. He was paralyzed, unable to move or call out for help. The beings then allegedly took him from his bed and transported him to what he believed was some kind of craft. What makes Strieber's account so fascinating is the detail he provides. Unlike many abduction stories that are vague, Strieber described his abductors with remarkable clarity. Some were small with those classic large black eyes, while others he called the doctors appeared more robust. He also described beings he called the kids, who seemed more playful, and one female entity he felt had some kind of authority over the others. Once aboard the supposed craft, Strieber describes a classic alien examination scenario, but with some unique twists. First, the beings apparently inserted a paper-thin triangular device up his nostril, which caused extreme pain. Perhaps most disturbingly, Strieber also claimed they inserted a needle-like object into his brain through his ear canal. He described feeling it pop through some kind of membrane, causing him terrible pain and confusion. But here's where it gets even weirder. Unlike many abduction accounts where the person is simply an object of study, Strieber claimed the beings communicated with him, not with words exactly, but through direct mind-to-mind contact. He felt they were trying to reassure him in some way, even as they performed these invasive procedures. Strieber also reported seeing other humans aboard the craft, including a child, though he couldn't communicate with them. Unlike many who keep such experiences private, Strieber consulted with medical professionals and underwent hypnotic regression therapy with Dr. Donald Klein, a prominent psychiatrist. Under hypnosis, even more details emerged. Strieber recalled additional encounters going back to his childhood. He remembered beings visiting him when he was a kid in San Antonio, suggesting this wasn't a one-time event, but part of a lifelong pattern of contact. In 1987, Strieber published Communion, a true story about his experiences. The book became an instant sensation, selling over 2 million copies. In 1989, it was adapted into a movie starring Christopher Walken as Strieber himself. What's fascinating about Strieber's approach is that he never conclusively claimed his visitors were extraterrestrial. He kept an open mind about their origin, considering possibilities ranging from aliens to interdimensional beings to aspects of human consciousness we don't yet understand. He even contemplated whether they might be some kind of evolutionary catalyst helping humanity advance to a new stage of development. Strieber claims the visits didn't stop after that night in 1985. They continued, becoming more complex and meaningful over time. In subsequent books like Transformation and Breakthrough, Strieber detailed ongoing encounters with the visitors. He described being taken to strange locations, receiving cryptic messages about humanity's future, and even encountering what he called the Master of the Key, a mysterious figure who shared profound wisdom about consciousness and reality. Strieber also founded a website called Unknown Country and hosts a podcast called Dreamland, where he continues to discuss his experiences and interview others with similar claims. Now let's put on our skeptical thinking caps and look at some alternative explanations. First and foremost, many sleep researchers suggest Strieber likely experienced sleep paralysis combined with hypnagogic hallucinations. Sleep paralysis is a documented phenomenon where a person awakens mentally while their body remains in REM atonia, essentially paralyzed to prevent you from acting out your dreams. During this state, many people report sensing presences in the room, feeling pressure on their chest, and even seeing figures near their bed. Add the isolated cabin setting and Strieber's active imagination as a horror writer, and you've got a recipe for an intense subjective experience. The reliability of hypnotic regression is another major issue. Scientific research has repeatedly shown that hypnosis doesn't improve memory accuracy. In fact, it often increases confabulation, where the mind creates false memories that feel completely real. Dr. Elizabeth Loftus, a memory researcher, has demonstrated how easily false memories can be implanted during suggestive questioning. Then there's the cultural context. Strieber's abduction occurred in the mid-1980s, when alien abduction stories were gaining popularity in American culture. The idea of gray aliens with large black eyes performing medical examinations had already been established in media and UFO literature, potentially providing a template for Strieber's experience. Also worth noting, despite claims of physical implants, no abductee has ever produced verifiable alien technology from their body. The implants that have been surgically removed from claimed abductees have always turned out to be ordinary objects or biological material when analyzed by independent labs. As for Strieber himself, even he maintains some healthy skepticism. He's consistently acknowledged that he can't be certain about the objective reality of his experiences. He's open to psychological explanations, though he feels they don't fully account for what happened to him. And there you have it, the fascinating case of Whitley Strieber. Whether you see his experiences as genuine contact with non-human intelligence, vivid hallucinations, or something in between, there's no denying the profound impact his story has had on our cultural conversation about the possibility of extraterrestrial contact. Strieber's willingness to explore these experiences publicly, despite the ridicule he often faced, has made Communion one of the most influential alien abduction accounts ever documented. What do you think happened to Whitley Strieber that December night? Could it have been actual visitors from beyond, an extraordinary psychological experience, or something else entirely? Drop your theories in the comments below. If you enjoyed this cosmic journey, smash that like button, abduct that subscribe button, and beam a notification to your devices by hitting that bell.